July 11th Committee of the Whole, please come to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Present.
Mr. Stuchel?
Present.
Mr. Edwards?
Present.
Ms. Housefeld?
Here.
Mr. Schildmeyer?
Present.
Mr. Culbertson?
Present.
And Mr. Estep?
Present.
Let the record show that all members are present. We'll move to new and referred items. Council, what is your pleasure on the approval of the written minutes of the June 27th council meeting?
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultmeyer.
make a motion to accept the written minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, seconded by Mr. Estep to approve the written minutes of the June 27th council meeting. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Next on the agenda, we have Ms. Kate Kraus from the St. Bernard Library to give council an update on programs that they are offering.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I wanted to give you an update on the library, and also somebody passed on a few of the comments that you guys have received, but we have a lot of the traditional services that you associate with the library. Books, research, we can have items that are not at St. Bernard sent in from any of the locations in the Cincinnati Hamilton County Public Library system. So if you want a research book that we don't have there, we can have it sent from the main library downtown. It usually takes about 3 to 5 days, and it comes in a delivery truck and will be on hold for a customer. And then something that sometimes customers aren't aware of, if there's something that you want that we don't have in our system, we can actually borrow it from other library systems in Ohio. We use Search Ohio and OhioLink to borrow it either from a public library and academic library. It takes longer to get here because it comes down on a truck, but you can also get items that way. And then we have a lot of news services that people sometimes aren't familiar with. We definitely have computer access. So I feel like everything is online and digital now, and so a lot of times people are coming in and trying to figure out how to update their resume, how to get their new digital paycheck stubs, how to fill out job applications, and we actually have a program that we do every Tuesday called Check Tuesday, and it's for adults trying to figure out how do you use your device, how do you use Microsoft Word, how do you access all these things. We actually have people who come in and say, I went to fill out a paper application at this job site, and they said, come here and do it online. So I feel like everything is digital and people are still trying to adjust. So we have the Tech Tuesday program. And then along with that, we actually fax for free to any place in the United States. So if somebody's like, yes, you need to submit this paperwork via fax, they can come in and it faxes for free to any place in the U.S. And then as well, scanning to email. So if you have a bunch of documents that have to be submitted someplace, we can scan them to email for free, and it's super fast. And you can also include your email address and get a digital copy. So if they're not sure what it looked like or they don't believe they received it, you have a copy that you can resend. And the library is doing $5 of free printing or copying per person per day. So you can come in every day and print off, it's either an equivalent of 20 color or 33 black and white pages. So tons of services. I feel like it's very hard for people who still have printers to keep up with the ink, and the ink goes dry and all of that stuff. And we have a new print server that is the same print server used for the whole system, and you can actually send it to an email address from your personal device, and it'll stay on that print server for 24 hours. Yes. So lots of updated technology, and then lots of stuff for kids. We have a right now, over the summertime, we're serving a meal service for youth. It's totally free. We work with a partner, and it's served at 2 p.m. And then during the school year, we serve a snack, usually between 2:45 and 3:45. So anybody who needs a reasonably well-balanced meal can come in, as long as they're a youth, can come in and get a free snack. And then some fun upcoming things. We also just started an ESOL group because we're starting to see more people coming into the library who English isn't their first language and are trying to gain skills in speaking English. So we started a new ESOL conversation group, and that's on Wednesdays at 5. And then we still have the good old preschool story time. That's Wednesdays at 10:30. Lots of fun and very enjoyable. And it's good for toddlers and preschools, but if you have kids who you feel like that's a good level for them, they're totally welcome to come and enjoy too. And we've got the summer reading challenge going on for kids to try and keep them engaged. And we have a different little sheet for kids up to age 12 and then for teens where they try and do an activity every day. And then when they finish the sheet, they get a prize. So just try and keep everybody engaged and keeping their minds going. And then for adults, we are just starting a new Easy Crafts program. It's going to be on Saturdays from 4 to 5. To get adults out and doing something fun and have an environment to engage in. And then we've been doing pre-printed little puzzle kits for adults too to help them keep their minds sharp, and they're down in our adult area. And we always do as well these activity kits we call Take and Makes, and they're preset little activities for kids. So if you're looking for something for a young person to do, we have a set out on our front area. Yeah, so lots of fun stuff, and the plant swap was a great success and super helpful what everybody did, and we're doing another one on August 17th from 3 to 5. And then some of the things that people had asked about was about have activities for autistic children. And so we don't have anything specifically at St. Bernard. There is an upcoming event at Montfort Heights, Saturday 13th, 10:30 to 11:30, which is a sensory story time. And then also at the Norwood location on Friday, July 19th, 6:30 to 8, they're doing a sensory open house for families with special needs. And then we're certainly open to doing more stuff too. We have a homework help enrichment aide who is working right now in the mornings until 2. And who can work one-on-one with people. And if we figure out what everybody's needs are, we can obviously, make sure we are filling those needs. Yes, and then there was another question about zoo animals. We had a great fun, we had live penguins in the library, and that was from the Cincinnati Zoo. That was, last school year, and we should have another zoo visit in the upcoming school year. That was super fun, lots of people. And then some people have suggested a seniors club, which would be great. We're just trying to figure out when it would be a good time to have a seniors club. And another comment was about teens congregating in front of the branch. And if you ever see something going on in front of the branch, call us and please let us know. We try and be aware of whatever's going on. Sometimes there's a lot going on inside and we're unaware, but 369-4462, dial 2, and you'll speak to one of us and let us know, and we'll come out and address it, 100%, yeah. So those are some of the upcoming things at the library. Yeah, and someone else was saying about a reading club for boys, and we're certainly open to that. We have a meeting room that people can book for meetings for free. And if there were people interested in having a book club, one of our youth librarians would definitely be interested in hosting that. Yes, any questions? Yes, lots going on at the library, and the main library is reopening on Saturday, and we will be starting next Wednesday is our first day. We'll be open until 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, and that's starting next week. So we'll be open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 10 to 8 p.m. and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday 10 to 6, and Sunday we're open 1 to 5.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Is there like a newsletter or to find out about all the activities y'all are having? Do you just go to the website, or is there a specific?
Yes, so if you go to the library's website and you go to events, then you can limit by location or look at all of the events, or you can limit by like activity or age group and all of that, yeah. Something else that's super fun is the library has something called Discovery Passes. And we used to have physical passes, and that gives you access to the Cincinnati Museum Center, the Harriet Beecher Stowe House, and a few other locations, the Pyramid Hill Sculpture Park, and you can get a free admission for it. The Museum Center is usually booked a few months out in advance, but that is also on the library's website. If you go to Services and View More and go to Discovery Pass, people would just use their library card and can book a free admission. Yes, and the sign museum too. Yes, but all the events are listed online, and then in the St. Bernard branch, we have a little calendar if you come in. It's right as you come in, a calendar of events for that month of everything we've got going on. And always feel free to call us. We are happy to answer questions.
Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, we thank you very
Oh,
much.
yes,
You've
thank
been
you.
very informative. Can you give the phone number one more time?
Yes, absolutely. 513-369-4462, and it'll give you a little message, and then you just press 2, and then you'll talk to somebody at St. Bernard.
All right. Thank you very much for
Oh,
your time. All
absolutely.
right,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda then, we'll go to reports of administrative officials. Mayor Jonathan Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all of those who attended the Village of St. Bernard's Independence Day celebration on Saturday, July 6th. We had incredible weather, and it was a huge turnout. The Remains did a great job entertaining us up until our awesome fireworks display, which some have shared with us was better than Blue Ash. Our community showed up, and we will commit to reserving Rozzy for next year, and I am inclined to do the same for the band, The Remains, because they were a perfect fit. Thank you to our fabulous volunteers, recreation, service, police, and fire departments for helping make this such a great event. As you have probably seen, there is some graffiti at the old Long John Silver's property on the wall. Our fabulous investigator, Keith Ingram, is making progress on this case and has identified the subjects that were involved. Charges will be filed and restitution will be made for the damages. Painting of the wall should happen next week. The cooling center will be activated for Monday, July 15th and Tuesday, July 16th in the main hall of the municipal building. It will be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and we'll have bottled water available as well. If it needs to be extended into Wednesday, we will notify you. I would also like to report on the current status of the shopping center, since there seems to be some misinformation being distributed. Currently, the CIC is working with a relocation specialist to assist us in finding a suitable location for one remaining tenant. The exact time frame for this to happen cannot be defined, but we are working diligently to make this happen so that we can go out for a bid on the demolition. It is our goal to make this a clean site for development, which will be more attractive for the chosen developer. The Village of St. Bernard was the recipient of a redevelopment grant from Hamilton County in the amount of $339,000, which is still available for this purpose. There was an additional application that is pending approval for this year that will assist in this project as well. We will be covering the windows and painting the former Boost Mobile windows to better blend in during this idle time before demolition can take place. For those that would like to have more information about the CIC, the next meeting is on Tuesday, July 23rd at 6 p.m. in council chambers. Also, the St. Bernard Garden Club would like me to make an announcement regarding the Beautify St. Bernard competition. The St. Bernard Garden Club is sponsoring a competition for beautiful yards this month. There are 10 yards registered. You can vote for your favorite at the website at stbernardgardenclub.org from July 14th through the 31st, or by voting in person at City Hall. Just look for the cute little house ballot box. The winners will be announced on August 3rd. The top 3 yards will receive a sign to display in their yards until September 30th, plus a Garden Club t-shirt. First place will receive the Golden Gnome Award to display in their yard. A listing of the contestants will be on the website and, of course, on ballots at City Hall. Get out there and vote for your favorite yard. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Auditor, Ms. Brickwig.
Thank you, Mr. President. The 2023 audit has been completed, and it turned out to be a perfect audit, and it is available on the state auditor website. I would like to invite the fire chief to come up and assist me with some of the items that I have. The first item will be that the fire department received a BWC safety grant in the amount of $10,125.83, which we put into the general checking account. So I'm asking for an ordinance to appropriate the money into 7A13 fire department equipment outlay so they can use it to purchase items. He's also going to help, we need to prepare for the next meeting a contractor to approve a new fire truck and the money to pay for it, and I'm going to let him explain that next.
Okay, so the BWC grant, I'll start with that she mentioned. That was to buy a new turnout gear dryer. So anytime we have a fire now, we're supposed to wash our turnout gear afterwards. Currently, we have to let it sit in a room for like 3 days, and we change shift every 3 days. So that dryer will actually allow us to get that dry within 4 hours. So it's a $12,000 purchase. We'll be responsible for about $1,200 of it. The rest is going to be paid for by BWC. The new ladder truck, I met with the budget committee on last Tuesday to discuss that. So our 2008 Sudfin aerial is due to be replaced. So we're working with E1 to get this will be a 2027 ladder. We're changing kind of the concept of what we're doing with it. It'll be a rear mount as opposed to a mid mount. I'm sure it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you, but the ladder's off the back instead of the front. It's much more usable for residential purposes. We've had several scenarios, and the mayor witnessed a couple of them, where we've not been able to use our ladder truck due to the proximity of the ladder, and our mutual aid companies have had to ladder the buildings for us. So this will alleviate those problems. So the purchase price of the vehicle that I shared with the budget committee has changed a little bit, only because we had the final meeting with Vogelpool, who is the vendor for the truck. We met with them yesterday. There were some things we left out, kind of oopsed on. So I don't have a final price yet, but I will have it for next week. But the base price, the original price we got that I shared with the budget committee, was $1,608,625. And I'm gonna ask that we put 25,000, kind of a buffer in there for these changes. I'll know for sure before the actual next council meeting. I've been told it should be somewhere between 12 and 15, but I don't wanna ask for too little. So what I'm gonna ask for that would be not to exceed $1,633,625. And then what we're gonna do is, the budget committee has recommended, and myself, the safety director, and the mayor have also recommend that we do this on a 3-year payment plan. And so by doing that, we will get a $75,483, and that's included in that price already. So this is already off the top of the original price. But we'll save about $75,000 by paying it in 3 equal payments, as opposed to paying it once we have it delivered. And those 3 equal payments will be approximately $545,000. And the first one will be due sometime in '24, whenever we sign the contract. And then the same time in '25 and '26, we would take delivery of the truck sometime in late '27. That's pretty much what I got. So we'll have to have, I'm guessing, an ordinance to approve the funding for this year's payment, and also to enter into the contract with Vogelpool. Is that correct?
That's where I was just gonna ask you to make sure that we only have to appropriate that amount of fund that year. Like when we do our purchase orders, we'll have like 3 separate yeah, we'll have 3 separate
We would
purchase
enter into an
orders.
agreement for the contract of the total price.
Okay.
And then we would have to do, yes, basically
3
an
purchase
ordinance for
orders.
3
That's
transfers
perfect.
for that, whatever that number ends up looking like. Like I said, it's gonna be a maximum of $545,000 per year.
Okay, I'll put it in for 550 just to make sure.
Yeah, so and like I said, he said I should have the numbers back maybe late tomorrow, but probably early next week, but I will certainly have them well before. And if you'd like me to, I could email them to all of council before the meeting on the 25th. Any other questions? If anybody wants to see, I've got pictures, kind of conceptual drawings and such I could share with you if you're interested.
So we need 2 separate
So-
ordinances
So
then?
what I'm asking is for 2 separate ordinances, one to approve the contract, and the second one to move the funds and appropriate the additional funds. And I've already talked to Heidi, she'll be helping prepare that.
Thank you.
Steve, you want that now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do I have a motion to place?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for 2 separate ordinances, is that what you said, Peggy? Yes. One to enter into a contract, and the second to appropriate the money.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, excuse me, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to, the one appropriation for the grant, and will that appropriation for that, okay. So appropriation ordinance and, ordinance to enter into a contract for the new fire truck. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. They will be on the table. Okay, thank you. Law Director, Ms. Van Valkenburg.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, my apologies if anybody's tried to get a hold of me by email. There was a change to the system, and it basically locked me out. So I think I've got it operational again, but, so apologies. I'm slowly working my way through them. I prepared for you ordinance number 22, which I believe addresses the issue in 90504, the last sentence of the first paragraph under A. I don't know if you've all had a chance to look at that. That should have gone out to you a couple of days ago. I hope that addresses Mr. Morton's concern. And then also, my apologies, I see ordinance number 19 did not get corrected because it's not going by emergency, it's going first by regular course. So I will get that, a revised draft to you out by the beginning of next week. So we have that in time for the meeting in a week and a half, 2 weeks from now. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to put ordinance 22 on the table then?
Mr. President,
Mr.
I'll
Schultmeyer.
make a motion to put ordinance number 22 on the table.
Seconded.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, second by Mr. Morton to place ordinance 22 on the table. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Treasurer, Safety and Service Director, Mr. Wardman.
Yes, good evening. Just briefly, I wanted to first thank the mayor and Tom Paul and all of the village employees that I've met so far for a warm welcome. It's been very nice and welcoming to come into the village, and everybody seems to at least be patient with me because I'm learning a lot. I tell people that I came from a place where I knew just about everything, and I've come to a place where I know nothing about everything. So please be patient with me, and I do appreciate everybody's friendliness. Second thing, just economic development kind of update. The mayor and I and two members from Alloy, which is our economic development contractors, met with BASF today to look at the progress that they're making on their expansion and have a little overview of their facility over there. It is very impressive. They are in the process of adding, I think they said it was a $70 million expansion over there, which is good for the village. I don't know that it will have a huge impact as far as the number of employees, but that kind of investment is certainly important for us to make sure that we retain the employment numbers that we have in the village. The one thing that came out of that I would put on people's radar screens to kind of think about is they did say that they were having some issues with workforce. It is something that I think is a problem across the country probably, but you know, they're having trouble recruiting employees. They did say that they have basically entry-level positions that are going for $28 an hour. So if people are aware of anybody looking for employment, it seems like a great company. It's a very impressive facility. Everyone we met was outstanding, so I would encourage people to take a look at that. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report at the time.
Thank you and welcome. Is there a report from Leanne? Nothing? Okay. We'll move to reports of standing committees. Finance, Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met last week to discuss payment plans for a new fire truck, as well as some updates from the mayor on current and upcoming street repair projects. On that note, I'd like to share my appreciation for this committee since we've wrapped up discussion on 3 primary topics during our term so far: the street sweeper and unloader and fire truck. Before making any decision to support an expense, we leverage expert insight to explore and refine various options. This includes researching many grant opportunities that's mostly conducted by the mayor, comparing payment plan options, and thinking strategically to ensure that we maintain our village's strong financial health. I do want to thank the members of the committee, as well as our mayor, auditor, fire chief, foreman, and other community members who've engaged in this strategic process so far. Separately, I want to thank those who have attended Community Connects. Engaged residents create strong communities, so thank you for playing a role in building ours. The next Community Connect is scheduled for Thursday, August 1st from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. I always welcome suggestions for the location of these monthly town halls, so please feel free to email or message me with suggestions. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Service, Mr. Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of June, the Service Department had 37 dump trucks placed at residents, 20 dumpsters placed at residents, 301 special pickups at residents, 152.7 tons of garbage taken to the landfill, 19.8 tons of recycling material collected, 180 pounds of aluminum cans collected, and 7,780 pounds of scrap metal collected. The Service Department would also like to inform residents on an update to the maintenance work of the larger section of the dog park at Ross Park. The grass seed planted within the park has begun taking root, and the park should be reopened by the end of this month. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Public improvements, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was no need for a Public Improvement Committee meeting. However, I'd like to congratulate the mayor and the rec department and everyone else involved in the 4th of July celebration. The food and music were great. The fireworks were fantastic. Everyone had a great time, and the cheer at the end of the fireworks was deafening. Where else can a community of a little over 4,000 people pull off such a great event? Thank you for your efforts. It was much appreciated by probably about 1,000 people. Thank you, Mr. President. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Safety, Ms. Hausfeld.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not have a report tonight, but I too want to say kudos to everybody that was involved with the fireworks display in that evening. It was awesome to see everybody enjoying themselves again, and the fireworks and the band were outrageously awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Laws, contracts, and claims, Mr. Schultmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Laws, Contracts, and Claims meeting is set for the 24th at 7 p.m. in council chambers. On the agenda are short and long-term rentals. And then also, my family had a great time at the fireworks event as well. It was great. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Marketing, Mr. Culbertson.
Thanks, Mr. President. We are just over 3 weeks away from St. Bernard's famous German luau. The event takes place on Friday, August 2nd and Saturday, August 3rd. On Friday, we have the musical group, the Naked Karate Girls, performing from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Saturday, the event will be kicked off with the parade starting at 12:30 p.m. Also on Saturday, the group Velvet Crush will perform from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Other activities include games of chance, kids games, food trucks, fresh market, and a dog costume contest. Can't wait to see everybody down there. Other events happening in the next few weeks include the following. On Saturday, July 20th, there will be a concert in the pavilion featuring Dangerous Jim and the Slims. On Friday, July 26th, we will have Family Night at the Aquatic Center. Also on Friday, July 26th, is the Ben Strong Blood Drive. The blood drive is from noon to 6 p.m. at the main level of the municipal building. All donors receive a Cincinnati Reds Hawaiian shirt. To make an appointment, visit hawksworth.org/groups/Ben Strong or call 513-451-0910. There are only 27 spots available. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Business and industry, Mr. Estep.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just maybe on a negative note, I'm getting complaints from the neighbors who live by Girl Scout Lane about the rats around the dumpsters coming up the hill and into their yards. But on a positive note, the fireworks were very good, and a lot of people showed up. That was nice to see. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council this evening? If not, I show 3 ordinances then, plus the 3 second readings of the 3 ordinances from last week. But we have the appropriation ordinance for accepting the contract for the fire truck, and ordinance 22, which deals with section 905-4 of the codified ordinances. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, second by Mr. Schultmeyer that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.